Hallo, willkommen zurück zu Hades Code. Es ist richtig stressig gerade, Leute. Wir werden von Agnos verfolgt, denn er hat bereits mit einer Waffe 4 unserer Kollegen, Verbündeten, Mitspieler niedergestreckt. Markus, Ray, Jasmine und sehr wahrscheinlich G sind tot. H ist noch nicht auffindbar, aber wir gehen davon aus, da sie mit Argos mitgegangen ist, dass er sie ebenfalls bereits im Raum selbst getötet hat. Ein alter Mann gegen ein kleines Mädchen. Die Chance ist nicht so schlecht für ihn. Das heißt, es sind nur noch ihr und ich gegen Agnos. Wir haben die Waffe. Wir haben die Fernbedienung. Wir haben kein Passwort. Und wir haben kein Papier mehr. Das heißt, I ist leider ohne Hilfe. Wir können ihn nicht mal schreiben. Mist. Und jetzt gehen wir auch in einen dunklen Tunnel, denn der Zug geht nicht mehr und alles fällt auseinander. Die Welt geht zugrunde. I was doing this for both of us. Und wir gehen. Slowly, I set off. Unable to see, I walked through the darkness of the tunnel. I was hoping it wouldn't bend, but the rails were supported by another piece of cement. If my foot hit that, I could just adjust myself. It took a long time. Oh god. A very long time passed. Another earthquake occurred, but I held on. Oh ja, wir haben jetzt Erdbeben. Even more time went by. Finally, I emerged into another station. Ah, da bin ich ja. We made it. How much longer do we have to though? Is this station fine? The station led to what was referred only as the bedroom. I stopped, the knee squeezer tied around me. She was still there too. Good. I looked over to the side of the station and through the door's window. Rubble. Rubble everywhere. Even if this station looked fine on a certain angle, there was debris in other places. It had suffered more than the previous one. Shit. We have to go through another one. Our trek resumed. This was repeated for the library, the pantry, and the lounge. Deciding not to stop at the lounge, I kept going, unwilling to see dead bodies again. While I was walking, an idea came to mind. The damage done to these stations was far too big to be the work of just an earthquake. Besides, earthquakes didn't really happen here. Not like this. As I crossed to each section. Oh nein. There were more earthquakes happening. Ich glaube, der Reaktor. Es gab den Reaktor als Raum. Vielleicht hat sich dort jemand eingeschlichen und was aktiviert? The ground shook and I stopped to keep myself steady. Each of them, one by one, always while I was in the darkness as if it was following me. These aren't earthquakes. The explosions. The entire place is going under. I gritted my teeth while I made my way to the security room. Either this was Smiley's plan or someone else was destroying this place. I could only think of Agnos. This reminded me of the events that had transpired not too long ago in the subway in New York. They said that every station had exploded. Was it the same here? Oh. According to what the old man told me, he was the one who cleaned house. That was one way of doing it. He was the architect of the destruction, huh? And now, I had proof of it firsthand. When I arrived at the security station, he was there. I dropped E and drew out my gun. Step away from the edge of the station. I ordered him to move despite the fact that he had high ground. I was armed and he was not. Das geht weiter.
Well, if it is my assistant, what have you been? Thankfully, I'm in a good mood. You're the only one.
You're the only one. Did you forget you killed my friends?
Now, calm down. I see you still have the gun. You can kill me now if you want, but if you do, this entire place will collapse right over your head.
That's what I thought. You're the one who screwed us over.
Ah, that was my intention. All I wanted to do was to destroy this place for the good of mankind. Surely you must agree that terrible things happen here.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I just want to leave this place, okay?
and I will personally let you out and even drive you to your home in a limousine, if I had one, so long as you open the ridiculous door.
I don't know how to.
Lies and falsehoods! You're the one who managed to lure me into a false sense of security. I was tricked by you, Smiley, but no more.
I clenched my teeth harder. I was getting angrier by the second, but there was little I could do. With the gun trained on him, I could keep him from coming closer. By this distance, any shot take would probably miss. Hä? Ach, weil ich schnell ausweichen könnte. Okay. Listen, I don't know how to open the stupid door. I don't care. Do whatever you want. I'll even give you a damn remote. I'm not Smiley. I don't even know who the fuck it is. It can't be any of us three at this point, so stop accusing me. I reached into the bag with my hand and snagged up the remote while keeping the gun at him. I flung the remote over to the edge of the station, sliding it over to the smooth ground. It was the only sound interrupting my monologue. You killed my friends. Jasmine and Marco. Both of them were here. If I was Smiley, why the fuck would I put them there? Why would I be here too? You know, I kinda like Jasmine. No, fuck this. I loved her, you asshole. I loved that fucking girl, and you killed her without a single care. You killed her, and you killed Marco, and you robbed me of my friends. If you take another step, I'll shoot. I should gun you down right now for all you did. I saw him take a step forward, but I quickly reminded him that by adjusting my aim, remedied him. He seemed to be thinking about what I was saying and rated if it was worth it. My aim's better when I've got nothing to lose. If this is the result of what your organization does, it can go to hell. I swear to God, I'll send you there myself if you don't give me that way out right now. I was running on adrenaline by this point. I wasn't in control of myself anymore. All I felt was anger, sadness, hatred, and other powerful emotions I couldn't even name. I sensed dread, danger, but also a few of euphoria. I was tired. I didn't want this madness anymore. I wanted out of here.
I see. Believe me, I understand your plight.
I glared at him as he made fun of my predicament. He held his hands up defensively.
Oh no, I'm being most sincere. I truly understand your pain, but that is the story for another time.
How about never?
Also fair. You want to leave, don't you? I will give you specific instructions that will let you do so. It is a little complicated, but I already tested it, and results speak for themselves.
I didn't trust the bastard.
I understand you don't trust me, but I have deduced you are not my enemy.
I didn't trust that bastard for a single second, but I didn't have a choice. This was the final step. Fine. I just reached into his bag and took out a collar.
I still have this one. It is the collar that twin known as H.
She was dead. Killed by him, no doubt.
If you go to one of the scanner gates leading out of this place, you should be able to throw the collar I left in the lounge through them. They won't activate. That is because the scanners are unresponsive. I don't know why, but the collars didn't activate when I sent the other pair through. Are you sure it's not just because they were already dead? No, of course not. I went through just fine, too. I assumed they shut down when I dismantled the power source. I can't even tell you what's behind the scanners, you don't believe me?
What is it?
It's an elevator. Surely it must be one of the elevators which are normally used by people with disabilities in their legs, or for large cargo. I didn't take it, of course, because I wasn't done here.
Okay, so if I throw those collars, it'll all be fine?
That's just so you can see for yourself. I doubt it makes the difference if you throw the collars through the scanners or not. Well, you better get going. I won't detonate anything further until you make your way back.
I hesitated. I didn't have much choice, so I acknowledged this advice. Okay, sure. Pray we never meet again.
Yes, pray we never meet again. I will be leaving this place once every station has been destroyed anyway. That is true justice, my boy. The truest justice, the one who stays alive, that dies decides it.
By the time he was done talking about delusions of grandeur, I was already back on the track. I had quite a ways to go through the tunnel before I arrived here. I cast one glance back towards the station and saw Agnes leaving through one of the dark hallways on the side. That bastard was walking station to station 2. If he was doing it, perhaps they were closer than I imagined. When I walked, it didn't seem that far either, giving credence to this idea. Kommt ihr mit oder bin ich alleine? I focused back on the track. Just like before, when I walked, there was another earthquake. That bastard! Did he lie to us to continue to detonate the bombs in peace? Assuming he was doing it in order, he started with the power generator and the next one had been the lounge. That motherfucker. I still made my way there because I didn't trust what he said. Back at the lounge, I helped the hopelessly confused E climb up onto the station platform. I followed with a mighty leap afterwards. So what's going on? I can't see where I'm going. Are we leaving this place? I wasn't able to let her know I was going up, so I reassured her with a few taps on her shoulder, after which I looked inside of the lobby. No debris. As the way was clear, I went up the stairs to confront the grim sight again. I pondered on Agnes for a moment. Perhaps he was Smiley. How would he know about the stations? How would he have gained any gun otherwise too? Maybe he was just toying with me. Finally up the stairs, I saw it all again. Marco, Jasmine, G, and Ray were all on the ground, dead. With Agnes admitting he had aged color, all 5 others were definitely dead. I clenched my teeth and my fists in pure anger, which disappeared immediately afterwards. I didn't want to leave their bodies here, but I could hardly carry them out. Checking the bodies, I saw Marco and Ray's colors were gone. What Agnes said wasn't a lie. You really used them, huh? So, the way out is open now. Ugh. Am I okay with this? Am I okay with letting your killer go rampant, Jasmine? Marco, what do you think? Got another dumb joke? He'd probably say killer, but I hardly know her, or something to that effect. My strength left me and I fell to my knees. I had no more will to stand up for several moments. I fell to an uncontrollable sobbing mess. This was real, and I needed to get out of my system. I didn't have a lot of time to mourn and grieve. One thing was for sure. As soon as I'd be out of here, I'd go to the police and notify them about this dangerous man. That was my plan, but it wouldn't bring them back. There was no second chance. I weakly punched the ground before sniffing up my sorrows. I stood back up and squatted to pluck the colors from Jasmine and G's body. Of course, they were dead, so the colors wouldn't kill them again. Strangely, they didn't detect me as using force, so they didn't activate either. Perhaps the colors knew that their wearers were dead. But Simon, colors aren't people. People wear colors. Oh, Jasmine. Before I fell on my sores again, I got a grip and stood back up. I stashed them in my back, left the area, never to return. Goodbye, Jasmine. Goodbye, Marco. G, H, and Ray. None of you deserved this either. But I was still alive. Not only that, but he was alive too. Assuming we would both survive, this experience was special. It was one of a kind. Even if life returned to normal after this. The two of us now shared an undeniable link.
We're leaving? I don't know what's taking so long, but I trust you.
She offered me a smile as I took her hand in mine again. I trusted her too. I couldn't tell her, but she was warm. I could be comfortable within it, with her. The two of us set off through the tunnel again. More tremors had erupted while we made our way to the security room again. There were no traces of Agnes. I crawled up the stairs and he wasn't there. I threw the colors out through the scanners. Nothing happened except that the door closed behind them. If something like this triggered, then clearly that was the way out. Obviously, with the door closed, we couldn't take this exit anymore. I took his hand again and we went through another walk. I didn't understand the process, but if it worked, it worked. I made my way back to the science lab. Once we arrived there, I took E up the stairs and we stood in front of the scanner gate. I still had some apprehension. What if this didn't work? What if Jasmine, Marco, and the others died in vain?
We're right there, aren't we? In front of the scanners. Don't worry, I'm here. We'll be fine.
That's correct. You'll be fine. With E's hand in mine, I step through the scanner and closer to a good ending. Das wird nicht funktionieren. Ich werde sterben. Whatever it was that Agnes did, it worked. When we stepped through the scanners, nothing happened. E seemed a little afraid, and so was I, but it was safe. We're done. We're out. I shivered in realization of what we actually accomplished while releasing a breath. I didn't even know I'd been holding it by the same occasion. I didn't care if Agnes was still blowing up the other stations. I was out of here. I was free. I was with E. The girl pulled her hand away from mine. I took a quizzical look at her. She reached for her headphones and her mask with both hands.
I think they're done.
I didn't understand what she meant. Very soon, it became apparent. It was her headset. She removed it after messing with the two objects a little. I could see her face. It was some kind of miracle. Sie hat sehr interessante Augen, muss ich sagen. Perhaps the timing was even too perfect. However, I didn't care. In that moment of euphoria, I felt light. This was only making it better. She beamed a smile at me, looking around herself. I thought that she was cute. Everything was going to be fine now. I knew I shouldn't have insisted on the security and well-being of the situation, but I couldn't help myself. Death flags be damned, this was a good moment.
I can see you. The light makes it somewhat difficult, admittedly.
We weren't in an area with a strong light, but I figured if she won this thing over her head every day for the past however many months, then it might have been jarring.
You've been avoiding looking at me. Are you embarrassed? There's no need for that. We're out and everything's over now.
I had been avoiding it, yes, now that her senses have been restored. I felt a little weird about looking at her, or grabbing her hand as I did before. Well, you see...
Nonsense.
The girl grabbed my hand instead, completely disregarding my argument, which was barely an argument to begin with.
You might be wondering exactly what happened, so let me explain just a little then. Maybe you'll be more confident afterwards. Basically, my headset was on to repair my senses. Or, over many months, it has been working to reapply a new sequence based upon my DNA. You could think of it as a 3D printing. They were making the interior of my ears and my eyes. This technology was still experimental when I was given the option to partake in it. I had no choice, because otherwise I wouldn't have regained my sight and hearing. And now, we're both alive to see it! I'm so glad, Simon.
Wait, how do you know my name?
Oh, Agnes told me.
Bastard.
Come on, let's head out. Let's leave this horrible place behind us. Let it disappear. Let's go and take a breath of fresh air.
She smiled at me and urged me on. I thought there was no reason to delay it, so I went for it. We stepped further down the hallway, past the scanners. Oh, just like Agnes told me, once we were further in, we found an elevator. This was the one he told me about, the one that would allow us to leave. There were many buttons. I pressed a few of them, but none of them worked.
Try the one labeled with a 0.
I tried, but it didn't do anything.
Let's try another one?
I tried pushing the one with the -2 label and it worked. Then I started moving. I expected it to take a few moments, but it went on and on. The elevator moved for what it felt like an entire minute. How far gone was this place? I looked at E, who was just puzzled as I was.
We're way further
under the metro. Normally it's not this deep underground. After 5 minutes, the elevator was still going up. Finally, it ceased its movements. Despite that, I didn't think we were above the ground yet. I'll go take a look. Do you want to come too?
No, I'll keep the door open so that it won't move no matter what.
She stuck her arm through the open doorway, and I nodded, stepping through. I went through darkness for a few minutes, until I emerged in a strangely familiar room. This is just a scanner room. I'm on the other side now, though. The door's closed on the other side. Maybe it's best not to step through it. What does it mean? Are there many levels of this place with all a similar contraption? I went back to the elevator to share the thought with E. She looked pensive for a moment. It was so strange to see her face after spending hours before without it being possible.
This doesn't feel right. Look at the buttons. They're all numbered in descending order, except for 0, which is at the bottom. It goes from 01 to -1 to -28. I pushed the button labeled 0, but once again, the elevator didn't move. Why is it not working? Maybe I have a hypothesis as to why. First of all, I wish I could know at which floor we'd been before, but it doesn't matter too much, I guess. You know how this is established far below the earth? Maybe whoever did this is using a real place as a cover. Imagine if this place was under the subway. You can't actually reach the ground floor because someone has an elevator there already. If it's the same elevator, tower, whatever they're called, then it might detect something at floor 0 already. That's kind of annoying because this means until the elevator gets called to floor 1 or 2, we can't really get out of here. You said there was something like a door, right?
Yes. There was a scanner hall right at the end of the tunnel.
What was beyond it?
There was a closed door.
So that means maybe they built this place on several floors. An entire system of trains over 28 floors deep into the earth. And we just happened to have been on the maybe 18 one? Which means the door was closed because people already escaped on the floor. Maybe the new one's already up there. No, wait. If they were, then this elevator would be up there. Let's test it anyway.
She pushed the button labeled -1. The elevator moved upwards again.
Yes, that works. The other floors work, but not floor 0. Just have to wait until the elevator's gone and we'll be home free.
Okay. What do we do in the to pass the time then?
I know. We can share information.
She had a very competent tone. I replied in kind. What, like, if I'd heard of any plan to assassinate the president?
Oh no, you silly boy. I mean stuff like your favorite color.
Oh, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, mine's yellow.
Oh, ich liebe sie. Yes! Yellow! Ich bin auch ein Fan von Gelb.
It's kind of a weird color, I guess. A lot of people don't like it because it reminds them of bees or something. I can't really fault them.
Bees don't go for you anywhere. Bees don't go for you anyway. Those are wasps.
Yeah, well, wasps are also yellow.
Yellow and also black. Mine would be blue, I think. Or green?
Green, huh? Green isn't a creative color, though.
Yes! Green isn't a creative color, though. Perfect. Das ist eine Hommage and don't hug me, I'm scared. Hey, who's prejudiced now? Truth be told, I don't really have a favorite color. I like all of them. Saying it like that would make me sound indecisive, though. Speaking of sharing information, I still didn't know her name, right? This was the perfect time to ask. Now that we're out, you still haven't told me your name yet. However, there would be no sharing of names. The sudden tremors that came from the ground made me lose my footing, and I crashed to the ground, similar to what Eve did. What the fuck's going on? I was back from the ground, holding on for dear life onto parts of the elevator. Oh no, Agnes. He got to the science lab and he's blowing up the elevator.
Watch out! It's happening again!
I tripped when the next tremor occurred. Then I rolled out of the elevator since the doors hadn't closed yet. I must have hurt my ankle because I couldn't rest back up again. Ah! Yeah, are you okay? I checked in with her, but my state wasn't anything great either. I realized what stopped me from standing up wasn't just my ankle, but my entire leg. More debris came down. The end result was that I couldn't get my lower body up. I reached for E to try and have her help me pull up from the ground, but she'd fallen inside the elevator and she sprained her ankle. Hold on to me! We need to go above ground! The 0 button must work now!
Wait, no, I don't...
She reached for me as the ground fell under me. It freed me, but there was nothing for me to hold on to anymore. I did a miraculous leap forward, and I snatched the side of the elevator, even with my lower body dangled above the empty space. Oh, that's cute. If I fall, I won't be pretty.
Grab my hand!
She reached for me, and I did exactly that, but I didn't think she was strong enough to pull me in. Instead, I reached with my other hand to grasp around the open doors. The closest button was the 0 button. I smashed my hand on it with extreme effort. Ah! It's still not working! You stupid shit!
I don't want to go without you anyway! Come into the elevator! Why are you stuck? Why can't you get up? Why is this happening now?
It's my fault. I should have killed that asshole.
No, don't think that's over. You can still make it in.
You had to go without me. The floor isn't too far below. I think I can make it, and then I'll find you.
No, the floor's way too low. Look under you. It's a few stories tall.
She was right. If I let go, I'd die. Unfortunately, I had lost most control of my legs by now. Falling materials and bullets had irredeemably broke my legs. I felt my lower half filled with nothing but pain. Most likely, my blood was staining the entire broken hallway. It was most likely leaking down the side of the elevator shaft on the outside here. My insides were slowly oozing out, mixing with dust and debris. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. I put myself forward with a louder growl. Finally, I reached further inside.
Ah, you have to live.
I slammed my hand on the only other button I could reach. I couldn't see it, but if it were right, the left column was the odd numbers. The bottom one was minus 27 then.
No!
I released everything, but the doors closed onto my neck. I was suspended against the wall by my neck, and the color detected force being applied. Soon, it beeped.
Ah, fuck. I didn't mean for this, but you have to live. Don't worry about it. I'm fine.
And then my head rolled into the elevator. The unfortunate result made Eve scream like a maniac. I couldn't blame her. Due to my mistakes, the girl had my severed head next to her, and my neck hadn't even finished cooking yet. The elevator began its descending down to floor minus 27, where hopefully the elevator shaft would survive the next blast from the explosives. And hopefully, this wouldn't become a coffin with my head and a pure girl within. She had to suffer this horrific vision because of me. But far from what I've expected, she grabbed the sides of my head instead and lifted me up until she looked at me directly.
Listen, we'll never forget. Imprint it in your memories. Don't even think about forgetting. You have to remember, the fourth letter is Y.
I had no idea what that meant. I would never find out. I expired shortly after. Ich denke mal, das brauche ich für den Code. Den 5-stelligen Code. Das heißt, die 5 ist ein Y. Ein wunderschönes Y. Cool. Thankfully for me, when beheading, the head remained somewhat alive for a short moment. And soft. Of course I couldn't make sense of anything though. I couldn't even move anything. The pain was like if the world had fallen upon me all at once. And yet soon, it was over. My last thoughts were full of regrets, but he would live on. I'm coming, Marco. Jasmine, wait for me. Had good end. Oh, Ending A. Okay. Wir haben ein Ending freigeschaltet. Nice. The end is reached, but the story is not over. The gears of fate continuously turn, becoming the truest embodiment of an endless circle. Okay. Credits! Ey! So Leute, das war das Spiel. Nein, Spaß. Das war nur eine der vielen, vielen Wege. Ich weiß, ich muss wahrscheinlich 5 Wege gehen, denn es gab 5 Endings. Und jedes Ending gibt mir einen Buchstaben. Bisher habe ich Y. Das ist nicht viel. Da haben wir G oder H, da haben wir Ray, da haben wir Marco. Danach kommt Agnos, der blöde Penner. Der blöde Penner. Dann haben wir G oder H. Ich weiß es nicht. Dann haben wir Ray. Oh, das oben war ich wahrscheinlich dann. Oder war es I da oben? Nein, das ist I. Dann war es oben entweder ich oder Ray. Mal gucken. Und da ist Jasmine. Yep. Oder Smiley, kann auch sein. Nee, es war nicht Smiley. Smiley hat eine Form gehabt. Oh, schön. This is a work of fiction. The game contains gracious violence and death, and all the events of the story really happened, but only in the world you are going to witness. None of the events happening in these games are in any way endorsed or encouraged by the creator. Da, Smiley. Smile and shine. Once again. Süß. Süß. Press Escape to return. Jetzt bin ich wahrscheinlich im Hauptmenü, nicht wahr? Wir haben eine Flowchart! Ey, aber erstmal gehe ich zu Extras. Und wir haben CG-Art. Wir haben das erste, das zweite, wir haben das hier und wir haben das hier mit ihrem Gesicht. Aber ich mag ihre Augen. Ich mag sie an sich sowieso gerne. Okay. Lexikon, da haben wir die Charaktere wahrscheinlich. Da haben wir Agnes. Da haben wir Boy or Girl Paradox. Braille Pen. E. Escape Room. G. H. Headset und Faceplate. Das ist von E gewesen. Jasmine Caron Bernier. Law of Truly Large Numbers. Law of Truly, das weiß ich nicht genau. Littlewood's Law. Marco Martin. Metro Montreal. Nomadics. Simon Fournier. Das bin ich. Smiley. The Colors. One is won by the Gentle Twin. One is won by Simon. One is won by Mark. 3 is won by Marco. 4 is won by the Old Man. 5 is won by the other twin. 6 is won by Ray. 7 is won by the enigmatic girl. And 8 is won by Jasmine. All of them can be had if the rule is broken. The Dating Game. The MTS. Und dann haben wir Credits natürlich. Die sind mir aber egal. Die sind mir aber egal. So. Dann guck mal die Flowchart an. Oh boy. 1 von 19? Wie? Das war das Y-Ending. Okay, da ist ein Ending, da ist ein Ending, da ist ein Ending und da ist ein Ending. Oh. Ah, okay, verstehe. Wir haben also... Da haben wir... Genau, okay. Okay, hier ist der Anfang. Das ist das First Segment. Da haben wir ein Novel Segment. Und da haben wir die erste Entscheidung gehabt. Da haben wir nicht alles geschafft. Genau, da kommen ein paar Sachen zu. Da kommen auch Sachen zu. Und dann haben wir hier... Genau. Das ist das E-Ending. Ich denke mal, das ist das Jasmine-Ending. Das Marcos-Ending. Oder das Ray-Ending. Kann auch sein. Das Twins-Ending. Würde ich schätzen und hier geht's auf... Oh, es gibt so viele Sachen zu finden. Oh boy. Cool. Es gibt also was zu tun hier. Das freut mich. Aber das sehen wir im nächsten Part erst, denn dort werde ich neu anfangen. Ich denke mal von... Nicht ganz von. Ich denke mal, ich werde wahrscheinlich von da anfangen. Und dann hier lang arbeiten, bis ich dann irgendwann wieder da ende. Und dann kommt das irgendwann. Genau, ich werde also hier anfangen. Nicht bei dem. Bei dem auch nicht, sondern hier werde ich anfangen. Weil da kann ich die Duos aussuchen, denke ich mal. Das heißt, ich habe eine Chance, mit den anderen zu reden. Okay, cool. Dann bis nächstes Mal. Vielen Dank fürs Zugucken. Ciao. Noch eine Errungenschaft. Cool.